Hey, Fact Fam! Welcome back to another episode where we dive into the most fascinating facts from around the world. Today we're heading back in time to ancient Egypt to unravel one of history's greatest mysteries. How did ancient engineers build the iconic pyramids? Buckle up, because this is going to be an epic journey through time and engineering marvels. First up, let's set the stage. The pyramids, especially the Great Pyramid of Giza, are not just piles of stone. They're symbols of a civilization's ambition and ingenuity. These colossal structures were built as tombs for pharaohs, who were considered gods in human form. The ancient Egyptians believed these pyramids would help their rulers ascend to the afterlife. But how did they manage to construct such massive, precisely aligned structures thousands of years ago? Let's find out. To appreciate the engineering genius behind the pyramids, you have to understand their scale and precision. The Great Pyramid of Giza was the tallest man-made structure in the world for over 3,800 years. It originally stood at about 146.6 meters, 481 feet. What's even more mind-blowing is that it's aligned almost perfectly with the cardinal points of the compass: north, south, east, and west. How did they achieve this without modern technology? That's one of the questions we'll explore today. Now let's talk materials. The pyramids were built using millions of stone blocks, limestone for the outer casing and granite for the inner chambers. These stones came from quarries miles away. Imagine transporting stones that weigh as much as 80 tons without trucks or cranes. The Egyptians used a combination of manpower and ingenuity to move these massive blocks. Some theories suggest they used sledges and poured water on the sand to reduce friction, making it easier to drag the stones across the desert. But who were the people behind this massive project? Contrary to popular belief, the pyramids were not built by slaves. Recent evidence suggests that a well-organized workforce of skilled laborers and craftsmen was responsible. These workers were paid in food, clothing, and shelter, and they worked in rotating shifts. They lived in nearby workers' villages, which archaeologists have discovered. This workforce was likely highly motivated, driven by religious beliefs and a sense of national pride. Now, on to the big question. How did they build these gigantic structures? One of the leading theories involves a system of ramps. The Egyptians may have used straight, zigzagging, or circular ramps to haul the stone blocks up as the pyramid grew taller. Once the blocks were in place, they would have used levers and pulleys to make fine adjustments. It's thought that construction began with a solid core of rough stones, which was then covered with finer limestone blocks to create the smooth, angled exterior. The design of the pyramids didn't happen overnight. The first pyramids were actually step pyramids, like the Pyramid of Djoser. Over time, architects refined their designs to create the smooth-sided pyramids we're familiar with today. The internal structure is just as impressive as the exterior. The Great Pyramid, for instance, contains intricate passageways and chambers, including the King's Chamber, which is lined with massive granite blocks. The precision in these designs is extraordinary. Some of the joints between the stones are so tight that not even a piece of paper can fit between them. So, what tools did they use to achieve such precision? The Egyptians primarily used copper tools, such as chisels and saws, along with stone hammers. But how did they manage such accurate measurements? They likely used simple but effective surveying tools like plumb bobs, ropes, and leveling instruments. Water-filled trenches could have been used to level the base of the pyramid. These techniques, while rudimentary by today's standards, were incredibly effective. Building the pyramids wasn't just a feat of engineering, it was a logistical nightmare. The Egyptians had to solve complex problems, like how to distribute the massive weight of the stones evenly to prevent the structure from collapsing. They also had to protect the pyramid from the elements, like wind and sand erosion, which is why they used hard, durable materials like granite for the most critical parts of the structure. Even with all this planning, there were still issues. For example, some pyramids show signs of settling or shifting over time, which the builders had to correct as they went along. Despite all the research, many mysteries still surround the pyramids. Some alternative theories propose that the Egyptians might have used more advanced technologies, like counterweights or even alien assistance. While these ideas make for great stories, the evidence supports the ingenuity of human engineering. Most of the more outlandish theories have been debunked by archaeologists, but the fact that we're still uncovering new,